Hey, here's my next video, continuing fractions. Boy, there's a lot of stuff. Let's go. Share screen, share, and boom. Let's continue this. All right, 2/4 of 12. In other words, that really means half of 12. Why am I saying that? What is 2/4? Can you simplify it? Simplify 2/4 real quick. I'll pause. Maybe. It's a half, right? Half of 12. So draw 12 things, 12 sticks, and show me half of them shaded. But let's really talk about what it says here. This means that 12 is split up into fourths. So 2/4 or 4 parts. So there's 4 parts of the 12. I want 4 equal parts, right? So if you're going to cut 12 into 4 equal parts, you got to cut it where there's 3 in each part. Think about it. Equal. If you want it equal, 1 part, 2 part, 3 part, 4 part. So 2/4 is shaded. 6 are shaded because there's 6 within those 2 parts. Half are shaded. Simplify our lower terms to check. Aha. 3/4 would be 9, right? If 1/4 is 3, 2/4 would be 6, 3/4 would be 9. Pause upon it, think about it. Now, 4 divided by a half. Ugh. You can tell I'm like, okay, let's think about this. Why does below match it? Well, it's 4. 4 is cut up. That's what I'm trying to say. The 4 is cut up. It's cut up. 4 divided by a half. Why does below match? Because there are 8 halves in 4. Think about that for a minute. Let it sink in. Because what's half of 1? Half. So there's 2 halves make up a 1, right? That's 2 halves and a 1. That means if there were 2, there'd be 2 halves for the 1 and 2 halves for the other number. So that'd be 4 halves altogether. Trust me, it works. You got to think about it. I know it's like, because there are 8 halves. So 4 is split into 8 parts. So 4 divided by half equals 8. Now you could do keep, change, flip. I would so do that. Keep, change, flip. 4 over 1 times a half would be 2 over 1. You'd get 8. So the 4 is cut into 8 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See me hopping down there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a picture model of that. Pause, think about it. We could try some other ones in a minute if you want to. Next, what are these added together? This is where kids should not miss it. If you label the fractions, you must label them. Label fractions, label fractions. I would label out to the side with this equals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of what are shaded? 9, is that tenths? Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 9. Yeah, it's 9. So it's 8/9. See, I got to double check it. 8/9 are shaded. I'd write 8/9 right there. Whee! It's 1/3 here. So what are they added together? You add it up. 8/9 and 1/3. 8. Remember, you got to find a common denominator. You remember how we did that? Would a 3 go into a 9? Solve this problem down here if you can. But a 3 would go into a 9. You could put a 27. Remember, you could multiply those out. But I'm just saying, what would it be? Here's another example, the never-ending examples. Below is 5/9 minus 1/3. Well, find a common denominator and work it out. But the picture is showing 5/9 because look, 5 out of 9 are shaded. And you get rid of 1/3. Say, what is going on here? So let's look at it. Remember, 3/3 is 1 whole, right? 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. So 3 are marked off. 3 are marked off. You see what I'm saying? 3 are marked off. So 5/9 minus 1/3 because 5 out of 9 are shaded. So why? Notice the crossed out part is 3 out of 9. Remember that 3/9 simplified is 1/3. So, I need to go back and talk about this again. So I'm just jumping to the 1/3. Why 5/9? Below is 5/9 minus 1/3 because 5 out of 9 are shaded. 1/3. Let's see. 1/3, 1/3. There are 5 out of 9 and 1/3. Oh, I see what I'm trying to say. See it? Just kind of like, There are a total of 3 out of 9 that are marked off, 3 out of 9. We'll simplify 3/9 and you get 1/3. That's what I'm trying to say. And so that's what's going on there. Remember that 3/9 simplified is 1/3. But if you actually worked it out, you would just do 5/9 minus 1/3, find a common denominator. This is a picture of showing you what's going on. Pause this. We'll talk about this one a lot. Next, 1/6 times 1 6/10, I should say, times 4. This works if each one of these is a whole. This gets confusing, but I've seen these on tests before. We're pretending that's a whole. Usually this would be a 1/10, but in this case we're pretending it's a whole. So 1 whole and 6/10. Well, every little box would be a 1/10 then, every little tiny square. So 1 6/10, 1 6/10, 1 6/10, 1 6/10 times 4. That shows that. This right here is just showing an example of decimals. This is how you normally would say these sticks usually are just tenths. So 3 dimes, 30 cents out of $1. This big box together is like $1 in normal situations. Pretend they're money. 65 cents would be each one of those is a penny. 65 are shaded in. 65 out of 100. 65 cents. Pause on this. Look at it. We'll talk about it. Not another one. We're almost done. Oh, we're about to start algebra. Yay. All right. Shrink this down a little bit right here. 1.6, 1.6 divided by 4. These can be confusing. The below works because 1/6 is split into 4 parts. Remember, dividing is cutting it up. You cut it into 4 parts. $1.06 is cut into 4 equal parts. So each part would equal a 4 because let's just look at it. This is $1 because normally these sticks are like, dimes, and there's $1's worth right there. You always want to put them in groups of dollars, pretending it's money. And then there's decimal 6 right here, right? That's the decimal 6. So divide by 4, you would have to cut it into 4 equal parts. So each part would have 4 in it. So that's why it equals 4, because there's 4 in every part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I do not like doing these. 1 whole is the whole thing there, and each one is 1/10. I'm just trying to show the picture. So 1/6 is split. Now I would actually just work it out to solve the problem, and then we'll compare it to the picture, and you'll find the answer. And just divide it. That's all you really got to do. Move the decimal up top, and you would find the answer that way too. Sometimes just working them out is easier. Okay, algebra is next, but let me get out of this for a minute and show you a couple of other things I need to show you about fractions so I can be done with this part. All right, this right here. Look at this beautiful handwriting. I know, it's gorgeous. Make this bigger. There we go. Another way of showing fractions. This can be confusing. So here we go. Maybe not. Maybe it's easy for you. Depends on the person. 1/5 divided by 4. So let's explain this. 1/5 divided by 4. And 4 is really over a 1. Remember that. 1/5 divided by 4. So we've got to take something like this right here. And see this shape right here? It's cut into 5 parts. Took this rectangle, cut it into 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's with the black lines there. That's 1/5 divided by 4. So now it's divided into 4. So I went this way with the red line. So cut 1, 2. So there's a group of numbers there, there, and there, and there. It's cut into 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's cut into 4, divided by, cut it up into 4 parts. Now you look and just shade in one of them right there, right? And it's 1 out of 20. Count all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1 out of 20. I've just worked it out too to make sure you're right. 1, keep, change, flip. Keep, change, put a time sign. 4 over 1 is really 1/4. Remember down here, keep, change, flip. We kept, changed, and flipped it. Reciprocal is the flip. And you got 1 out of 20 if you work it out. That's what that's showing on the picture model. Over here, I'm saying 1/5 is a unit fraction, by the way. Why am I saying that right there? I have no, oh yeah, right, because of that. It's called a unit fraction. It's 1 unit. Now, it says that on the TEKS that you're supposed to learn. That's why I'm saying that. All right, 4 divided by 1/5. You would do it differently if it's this way. Now, if it's a whole number in front divided by 1/5, it changes the problem. So this time, instead of drawing it like that, I would draw 4 separate things. You could draw squares or circles like I did and cut each one into 5 parts because it's a 5th, right? And then you just count how many are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20. The answer is 20. But I would work it out. 4 over 1 divided by 1/5. Well, you keep the 4 over 1 times 5 over 1, and you keep change flip, you get 20 over 1 equals 20. That's how you do it. Now there's another picture to show you, and then we are totally done with this for now. There's other fraction stuff to show you, but let's just stick with this. This is most of it. What if you want to multiply? Here's a picture of how you do that. Pause the video, let's look at it. 8 times a half equals 4. So you have 8, but you split it in half. So notice, right here, 8 pieces. 8 times a half equals 4. Well, even myself, I'm kind of like, what? Let's look at the other one, see if that makes more sense. A half times 8 equals 4. What? So a half of the 8 is 4. That makes more sense to me right there, right? But this one is 8 pieces, and they're each a half. That's kind of what I'm seeing there, right? Is that what you're saying? It equals 4, though. So what do y'all think the 4 means? Is it because there were four of them and they got cut into half? I don't know. This is so confusing. I have to admit, when I see these, I have to ponder upon it, which shows you I did good in school, but sometimes I have to ponder and think. So as we look at this in class, let's talk about it and think about it. Am I pretending not to understand? Am I? Am I? I don't know. You tell me. Ponder upon it, think about it, pause it, the end of this video.